Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bad Guitarist Podcast, episode number 44. My name is Andrew,
And my name is Scott.
and there's a few things this week to talk about.
Okay.
Um,
What is that
some
behind me?
pedals,
Oh, it's a
some
guitar
guitar-
case.
What?
I saw something on the camera behind
There?
me.
Yeah, it kind of blends in with your hair.
Yeah, I know. That
Yeah.
looks weird. But it's a guitar case. There. Anyway, what do you have for today?
Native Audio has a new version of their Fry Bread Fuzz.
Okay.
This is the birthday edition because the pedal's been out for a year.
Nice.
So this one is a germanium I can't say that for some reason. Fry Bread Fuzz, which delivers versatile vintage voice fuzz tones that transform your signal from robust cleans to searing heavy fuzz, honoring the adaptability and richness of traditional fry bread with, while providing musical flexibility anywhere in your signal chain.
Okay, so they already have released this one. It's just a new edition of the fry bread.
I feel like we covered this when it came out, like the first time. Oh, no, we haven't been doing this a year yet, so there's no way.
No, I don't think so.
No, we did the other one, the other fuzz that they do.
I mean, we talked about native audio before.
Yeah. There's another fuzz. It's like the commodity fuzz or something.
Okay.
So germanium worth and compression, expansive gain range, mid-forward character, signal chain freedom. What is this, like a big muff or something?
I don't know.
I don't remember. Each germanium fry bread fuzz features individually selected and tuned germanium transistors, ensuring optimal character and response across the entire gain range. Our advanced pickup impedance conditioning circuitry maintains. I don't know why I can't talk. I can't even read today. Let's just look at the story. We always like to look at the stories with the native audio stuff. So the fry bread fuzz, I cannot say bread for some reason.
Okay.
Might have to call an ambulance or something. I don't know. Fry bread fuzz is a tribute to my Blackfeet heritage and celebration of one of our most beloved traditional foods. It represents the incredible adaptability of native cuisine. A simple bread made from basic ingredients that transforms
transfers any meal into something special.
Yeah. Whether enjoyed with honey and jam for breakfast, topped with chili and fixins for an Indian taco, or savored plain alongside family stories, fry bread adapts to every occasion while maintaining its essential character. Now, we live in Arizona, where that's like a really big deal here.
Yeah.
Each pedal features my grandmother's traditional fry bread recipe printed on the back. Now you can experience both incredible tone, authentic fry bread for yourself, connecting the same heritage that inspired this pedal. But on the back of the pedal, you have the recipe.
Wait.
Yeah.
Do all of his pedals have a recipe on the back? We
No.
might have talked about this because I recall talking about a pedal that had a recipe.
No, it wasn't a recipe. It was one of their pedals. It's the commodity fuzz, where I think it had like a nutrition label or something on the back.
It's a nutrition label. Okay.
So it's cool. It has all the ingredients, just your salt, milk, flour, baking powder, water.
Nice.
Makes 8 pieces.
Okay.
Cool.
And how much is that?
I don't know.
$259.
Hold on, no, that's.
Oh, you had 3 on it? Oh my gosh!
Why did it automatically have 3 in the car? No, it's $259 for one.
$259, yeah.
It says it's a vintage voiced fuzz, but I don't know if I missed somewhere. It's like a tone bender fuzz face. I don't know. It's got 3 knobs. $259. Buy it. Just buy it.
Looks nice.
Before it's gone.
If you want the recipe, go ahead and buy it.
Yeah. Be an expensive recipe.
Will be. But it's fry bread. Will be good.
So we got some more pedals. Sorry, everybody. It's been a long week around here. So Old Blood Noise Endeavors and 29 Pedals have come together for the Signal Blender Stereo.
The design looks cool, though.
Now, I think they already had the regular Signal Blender, so this is kind of weird. I guess it's just the stereo version. Okay. It has MIDI in and through. Looks like there's an A/B switcher on this thing. Okay. So the Signal Blender Stereo is designed for making parallel effects loops, giving new creative options beyond the sound of pedals in series. Collaboration with 29 Pedals means that this pedal has a massive headroom, plus or negative 15 volts, and clean phase response throughout the entire signal path. It can also be a 1-to-3 splitter or a 3-to-1 combiner, making it a versatile tool for your setup. Features include stereo input and output, 2 stereo effects loops, with the option for mono to stereo splitting at the main input.
Okay.
It can be used in mono with a TS cable instead of TRS cables. Individual volume knobs and foot switches set to the amount of loop A, loop B, or clean signal at the output. Trail switching for loops A and B. Phase inversion switch for the return of each loop. MIDI control on and off trail switches. Option for true bypass input to output when all switches are off. It does have soft switching. It's 9-volt powered.
Okay.
Not much going on. There's just a utility pedal. A lot of companies are doing utility pedals these days.
How much is it? $299?
$299. Okay. I think it's just because for a lot of companies it's cheaper to build these, and the return on it is better, especially with, like, you know, things being expensive right now.
Yeah.
But it's pretty cool.
Weren't you talking to me today about someone showing the receipt or something that they bought for a pedal? No, was it for a pedal?
That was
who was it? You were talking
John
to me
Cusack.
about that today. Yeah.
But I don't remember where I saw that. It might have been Facebook.
Because you were telling me he was saying he bought something and ended up paying like $5,000 extra or something like that on tariffs.
All right, yeah.
Okay, what was it?
Many people are saying that recent articles about the Chinese-based tariffs are affecting companies. I added a word in there, sorry. The Chinese tariffs are affecting companies in the music industry and are misleading because they claim that the tariffs are being exaggerated. Here's one of my tariff bills. Yes, I paid $10,530 in tariff charges on a $5,400 order.
Jesus
so
Christ.
It's a DHL shipping invoice. And yeah, I mean, that's insane. He was only buying $5,400 worth of stuff, and he had to pay an additional $10,000.
Oh my gosh. So it's more the money that he paid on tariffs than the money of the product itself. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's so expensive.
And I don't know. I mean, I know they changed the rates again, and who knows what people's bills are going to look like moving forward. But
that looks insane.
Yeah,
that looks insane.
Yeah, and John Cusack, he owns, you know, Cusack pedals, Mojo Tone or Mojo Hand. Sorry, not Mojo Tone, Mojo Hand. And I believe he also owns like a distribution company for parts. So among other things. So it's insane. I mean, he's the authority on the subject. Like when Julie Robbins from Earthquaker went to Congress to speak and testify about the tariffs. I mean, she took quotes from him on the pricing and the way the pricing is affected on like something as simple as like a foot switch or a knob or something, you know, potentiometer. So anyway, that one was the signal blender stereo.
Okay. Nice design.
I like the art. Yeah, it looks like it matches a lot of their artwork from that series.
It does. It really does.
So it's cool to see companies doing this where like they have the same kind of different designs but similar colorways from like one to another in their I guess the utility series that each company has. Like they have this. The ones that we talked about, Earthquaker has the ones where it has like the black and white kind of different patterns.
Those look really cool.
Walrus Audio does the Canvas series, so it's kind of cool. I don't know. What do you want? Guitar?
Yeah, sure. Let's go for a guitar.
I think this one's really cool.
Del Sol.
I'm not even sure exactly when this came out, but I've been seeing it everywhere. I've been getting like ads nonstop for it.
Okay.
So Orangewood Guitars, which they became really well known because they do rubber bridge acoustic guitars.
Okay.
Which in the last couple of years has been like really popular. Everyone from like Phoebe Bridgers to Taylor Swift, a lot of indie rock people, they're all using like the rubber bridge guitars. So this is their first electric guitar, and it's a baritone. This is the Del Sol baritone. It's only $695.
Only?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean, only when you look at this thing. When two worlds collide, magic happens. We teamed up with Tree Tone Guitars for a fresh take on their original Del Sol offset guitar. The chamber body with a single F-hole construction balances weight and resonance, while the baritone scale adds rich low-end depth. A pair of expertly voiced P90 pickups and a phase switch push the sound in a bold new direction.
Okay.
So it's baritone with 27.5-inch scale, tuned to B standard with Ernie Ball baritone slinky strings, chambered offset body made from mahogany, featuring a bass side F-hole, roasted maple neck with a C-shaped profile, rosewood fretboard, jumbo frets, tusk nut, and block inlays. dual P90 pickups with volume tone controls, plus a mini toggle and phase switch. So that's cool. You get the toggle for the pickup selection and a phase switch. Grover roto grip blocking tuners. Ooh, they spelled Turner. They spelled tuners wrong on the page.
Okay.
It says Turners. Tune-o-matic bridge and stop tail piece. Unique brushed aluminum front control plate and back neck plate with tree tone logo. It looks really cool. I like the black. I guess I like the gold too.
Well, the $1 million question is, how does it play?
Like, I mean, from the videos I've seen, it seems like it's on the same level as something like a Novo guitar or a Fano, which look very similar to this, or even like Built or Reverend kind of guitars. Seems like it's on the level with all those brands, but like half the price. So
would you say the price is good?
I think that's a really great price. The thing is that it's a baritone. Now, I don't know tree tone guitars. Because it said this is an exclusive where they're doing a partnership for a baritone. But I want to know, what do they have the same guitar in like a non-baritone?
No.
Oh, they do, but these are, looks like they're solid body. No, there's a couple. I don't know. Let's see. Find your sound. They got a really cool shape. Do you see one that's called the Del Sol?
Yeah.
Oh, right there.
Right there. Del Sol.
Okay. So the tree tone ones start at $2,500. So why is this only $700? Why are the other ones only $700? Are they must be import, right?
I don't know.
It must not be made in the US. Because I don't know where Orangewood guitars are manufactured, but this is a really cool guitar.
It looks nice though. I would say that.
It says they're set up in Los Angeles, but where are they made? I'm assuming this is just an import version of their I have no idea where these are made. I guess it doesn't really matter.
I mean, the original one is really expensive though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. These got to be like Indonesian or Chinese or something.
To be that cheap compared to the price for the original one. Yeah.
And I think these actually, because they do have the chambered body, I think these actually look better.
Okay.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with the ones that we were just looking at on their site, but
they're just expensive.
For $700, I mean, you can't beat that. I mean, there are cheaper baritones, but
yeah,
you know. Speaking of affordable guitars,
that one looks ugly. I can
Gibson
tell you that right now.
has put out the Les Paul Parlor Acoustic Vintage Cherry Sunburst, and also available in Vintage Sunburst. I think the Vintage Sunburst looks better. But these are like a parlor-sized acoustic electric Les Paul is what they're calling it, but it's not. Like, this is not a Les Paul. They tried to model the pickguard to kind of look like a Les Paul pickguard. Really big body.
Not a fan. I don't like the design.
I don't either. These are $4,000. So you get the book matched AAA flame maple top, solid mahogany back and sides, mahogany neck with advanced response profile, bound rosewood fretboard with 19 for standard frets and perloid trapezoid inlays, Grover Rotomatic tuners, LR bags, VTC4 undersaddle piezo pickup, inactive preamp, modern hardshell case. I mean, I would hope for $4,000 an acoustic would have a case.
I mean, I can tell you right now that I'm not appealed for any of the two colors that they have.
I just don't like. My main thing is the shape of the body. If Fender's doing the Acoustasonic series, why can't Gibson have a guitar that is shaped properly like a Les Paul, a little bit thicker without being as thick as this thing looks? This looks like it's got the thickness of a regular acoustic guitar. Yeah, that looks like it's like 4 inches deep. I don't know. I would just make it look more like a real Les Paul, but make it a little bit thinner than a regular acoustic, and I don't know.
What is it? Cherry Sunburst, and what was the other color?
Let's see, Vintage Cherry Sunburst, and then Vintage Sunburst.
Yeah, nah.
Oh, but you can get it right or left-handed.
I mean, that's nice. I don't know.
I'm not a fan. That's my
No.
assessment on that. I don't know. So I got some cooler stuff.
Okay.
Benson Amps put out the Tallbird Plus tube-driven reverb and tremolo.
Okay.
So I don't know anything about this one. I knew that they announced it, but I don't know anything about it.
So does an amp?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it looks like it starts at $400. That can't be right.
That's what it says. Well, it says select voltage though.
Yeah.
So the price might change depending. Who knows?
Oh. Yeah, it's not $400. Nope.
Nope.
Why does it say 400 here, but then when you select your voltage,
it's so weird.
You get USA, Japan, or international. And the price is different depending on which part of the world you are going to be playing this thing in. All right, so back in 2023, we were approached by the Beach Boys to create a limited edition reverb and treble unit called the Surf's Up. Based on the classic Fender circuits with some upgrades, which was exciting because it allowed us to slay some dragons in the form of abiding tech problems with that type of circuit. The Surf's Up project ended, but the journey was far from over. After the dust settled, we realized the dragons could be deader, so we threw in our 60 schematics and performed a ground-up redesign how we would achieve the classic sounds with even more versatility and lower noise. So they rebuilt that whole design from the Beach Boys. You have independent wet and dry controls, size control. Reverb section is powered by an EL84 power tube, feeding into a Spree tank capable of classy shimmer to wild chaos. Tremolo, you have harmonic tremolo or conventional tremolo modes. Hard-tuned LDRs, and an ultra-wide sweep via custom 3-pole oscillator. Possibly the only 2-powered optically driven harmonic tremolo on the market. And low noise. The gain staging has been carefully implemented for low noise. Every parameter is designed to extremes. The Tallbird Plus is capable of a huge range of classic spring reverb and tremolo sounds. Unfortunately not available in Europe due to EU material regulations because the optical cells contain cadmium, which we've talked about that before. Can't send that to the UK or EU. To the EU. We will have a reverb alternative as EU friendly within the next year.
Oh.
Weighs 17 pounds. It includes a 2-button foot switch and cable. Now, the thing about this is the whole thing with the Beach Boys.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember that. They brought in JHS to do a collaboration when they're doing the Beach Boys documentary for Disney. And they approached JHS to do a couple pedals that were inspired by the Beach Boys sounds. And I can't remember which ones they did.
I don't remember.
I had one of them. I had the bass pedal.
Talk about it?
I had the bass pedal. It was that really expensive one that I ended up selling. But what was it called? Man, what was that thing called?
I don't know. I really don't remember.
The Punchline. It was called the Punchline. Yeah, it was that big black pedal, and it was like a full-on bass rig all in one. It had like a compressor, a drive, an amp simulator, and then a master EQ. So they did that one, and then they did like a Univibe pedal, and then JHS brought in Robert Keeley and Benson amps, and they put together a bunch of stuff that were reverb exclusives. Robert Keeley did a pedal called the Rotary. No, not the Rotary. It was called California Girls.
Okay.
And he did 2 of them, but one of those pedals ended up being re-engineered into the Rotary pedal that he sells now. And it was the first pedal in the series of the ones that they're doing right now. Like these folded metal enclosures that they're doing. We've talked about them a few times here, but not that. But let's see. We just talked about it like last week. So like this, the Rotary.
Okay.
So this is where this design came from, like this size enclosure and everything, is they first did it for the Beach Boys pedals. And they did one that was like a 12-string simulator, and then the what became the Rotary. So one of them was called California Girls, one was called I Get Around.
Okay.
And actually, I Get Around might have been the JHS pedal. It doesn't matter. Anyway, there were 2 Keeley pedals, 2 JHS pedals, and Benson did their reverb and tremolo unit, and it sold out. That was the first one to sell out because they only did, I think, like 67 units or something to reflect like the year of whatever album they were doing. I think it might have been Pet Sounds or something. And I probably have a lot of this information incorrect, but so that sold out like immediately because it was super limited, whereas the other ones had like 1,000 of each, and I think those just recently finally sold out. Like you can probably go to Sweetwater and there's probably still at least one of those pedals still available. So they did a little short documentary, I guess. I don't know, it might have just been a YouTube video, where it was all three of them sitting down talking. So it was the dude from Benson, it was JHS, it was Robert Keeley. And they were talking about how like this was going to be an interesting thing for them because they all did these projects separately. But then it all came together for this one big project. But one of them said like, oh, this is going to be really cool because like these are things that we wouldn't have normally done that now we have ideas we can build off of for like our actual product lines. So you saw that with Keeley, where now they have the rotary, they have the Zoma, they have the Halo core, and those all started with that design.
Question.
Yeah.
Were the Beach Boys like a big deal?
Yeah.
Oh.
Brian Wilson, who just died this week, he innovated a lot of like studio techniques, and essentially at the time that they were getting big and the time that the Beatles were getting big, it was a competition.
Oh.
Because they were both pushing the limits of what could be done in the studio.
I have to check how they look because
yeah. But both groups were pushing the limit of what you could do in the studio. You could tell there were definitely influences from either group popping up in each other's music. Anyway, so Keeley, has a whole new lineup of pedals that were inspired by like.
But they were not a boy band, were they?
I mean, this was before boy bands, but I mean, they were essentially they could have been considered the first boy band, yeah.
Okay.
And they weren't real like. They had songs about surfing, but they weren't a surf band. Like they didn't play like the genre that is considered surf music. They played like pop music about surfing.
Then they were a boy band.
Yeah, kind of, yeah. Yeah, you don't know the Beach Boys? There's a bunch of brothers and cousins and their buddy Mike Love, who ended up stealing the band from Brian. So there's a lot of discussion about.
Well, it says online it's a rock band, but it's sounding to me like it's more like a boy band. I don't know.
I mean, you've had to have heard some of their songs. Barbara Ann. Barbara Ann. No. What about like Pet Sound? The album Pet Sounds. California Girls.
What California Girls? The Katy Perry. California Girls.
California. No.
I don't think so.
You don't know any Beach Boys songs? Help me, Rhonda. Help me, Rhonda.
I probably don't.
We're gonna. It's a good thing that we're not monetized because they would demonetize us.
I probably don't know.
Dude, you know some Beach Boys songs.
You're saying I know?
You must know some Beach Boys.
Have I mentioned a song that you say, oh, you know that song? Because I'm
what about
pretty
Surfing
sure
USA? Wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it be nice if we were older? Then we wouldn't have to wait long. You know that song. Good Vibrations.
How does that one goes?
I'm picking up a good vibration. No.
I don't think so.
Sloop John B. Hold on.
I don't
Surfing USA. So. You don't know Surfing USA? God Only Knows. What's another one you might know?
What is God Only Knows?
That's the name of the song. Kokomo.
How does that one goes?
Oh, one of our lights just
turned off. We die. We die.
Do you want to try to turn that back on? It's going to make the rest of the video weird.
I don't know how to turn it back on.
It's the switch over here.
Hold on, everybody.
Uh-oh. We're just having all sorts of issues tonight. I think you need one more time. The coloring looks weird.
Oh my god.
No, you're turning it on and off. This is a nightmare. Okay. Okay. Well, you don't know them.
I don't know them.
I can't believe California Dreamin'. They did a cover of California Dreamin'.
How does that one goes?
Well, originally it's the Mamas and Papas, but they did a cover of it.
I don't know that song. I don't think I know.
But you do know Wouldn't It Be Nice? You know Wouldn't It Be Nice?
I probably heard it in a movie.
Yeah, it's the song that plays at the very end of Bubble Boy. That's a movie that you would know from.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll give up on the Beach Boys.
Just
anyway,
give up
the
on
point of the
that.
story
I
was
don't
that
know that.
the point of the story I was trying to tell was that it's cool that these companies were able to re-engineer these ideas that they were approached to create through the Beach Boys collaboration to like now have original designs that are, I mean, they're all original designs, but you know, they're reusing them in different ways. The only one that hasn't done it yet is JHS. So it'd be cool if he reuses, because the I forgot the name already. I want to say like the Sledgehammer, but that's not the name of it. I said it like 5 minutes ago. Whatever the bass pedal was. Punchline. So that one is supposed to imitate the sound of Carol Kay in her bass tone, because she did a lot of the studio session work for the bass tones on the album Pet Sounds.
Okay.
And she had a specific sound, and that was supposed to be the combination of all the studio gear and everything that she used. My problem with the Punchline is that I only needed certain things from it. So it did 4 separate things. It was compressor, drive, an analog amp sim, in master EQ. I really didn't need the master EQ, and I didn't really care much for the drive. I really liked the compressor and the amp sim. So it'd be really cool if they break that thing up into different pieces and do individual bass pedals, like do a lineup of bass pedals. So that'd be cool to see.
Okay. What else do you have for tonight?
We missed. I don't think we talked about this a couple weeks back. It's funny because I actually got a message from RJ about this one.
What is it? Because
he was getting one of these, some kind of DRV from 1981 Inventions. So it's a rat. It's a rat style pedal. Now the DRV. Let me go back to the homepage here. Looks like this. Typically, there's different colors that he puts out. So it's usually $250.
Okay.
And he has different, like I said, different colorways. Right now, there's the pink one available. There's a white version with a DeLorean car on it.
So all of those are the same pedal?
These 3 on the left here. So those are all the same pedal. Like I said, the 1981 is the brand name. DRV is the pedal. So this pedal has been around for several years now. And he built a whole brand off of just one pedal. And I guess I'm getting ahead of myself here. He's the guitarist of a band, Reliant K.
Okay.
So it's Matthew Hoops. And I believe he's based out of Tennessee. Anyway, so he built his whole brand around the sound of a rat. Well, modified rat circuit. So a couple weeks back, he put out some kind of DRV. So it's the same pedal, but custom artwork, which I don't think, I guess they're doing that one still. So it's like a limited run thing, or he does it in batches. And they're $100 off, so you're paying $150 instead of $250. You don't know what artwork you're getting on the pedal.
Oh, that's cool. That is really cool.
Yep. So it looks like he's still currently taking batches or orders for batch 2. What sucks though is I'd seen, but it must have been on Instagram and not on his website. But he showed a bunch of different potential designs that you could get.
So it's not those 3 designs that is showing.
No, it's just showing you a basic thing here. So he just launched batch 1 of some kind of LVL.
Okay.
So LVL is another pedal that he makes. This is his second pedal in the lineup. So I don't know. It just says
so
the
you
LVLs.
Literally don't know what it is.
You don't know what you're getting, and this one's also $100 off, so it's $150. For either pedal. So it says the LVLs will be built into enclosures that will be picked randomly from an evolving pile of pedal housings featuring a mixture of powder coat colors, knobs, LED colors, even different slight circuit tweaks. Oh, okay, so they might be slightly modified. And overall, we'll have a lot of different looks. Some will be one of a kind, but none will be in high production. These are not B stocks or parts bin specials. I am actually sourcing specifically new and fun things to use for this series.
Nice.
Most will be extremely rare, possibly even one of one. But I may do small runs of certain types if I'd like. I view this as a bit of an art project more than a traditional pedal release. I'm excited to have the freedom to try some things. These will not only be different colors and different prints. I'm gonna try to, where did I just lost track. Oh, I'm gonna try to make as many unique pieces as I can, and some may have a few multiples, but your chances of getting a one-of-a-kind pedal are fairly high. Some pedals may feature photos I've taken, graphics I've made, things other people have made, random classic colorways, new future colorways. Anyway, it just goes on from there. But
that is really cool.
Yeah. And $150 is pretty cool, but it's like a mystery thing. You don't know what you're getting.
I mean, you kind of know what you expect from the sound.
Yeah, you know,
even if it's a little bit modified. But that's really cool.
Yeah. I don't remember what the LVL regular pedal was. I don't remember what circuit that is. But I know the DRV is a rat.
He also has pedal. A lot of merch on the.
He does. He has got shirts, hats.
Yeah.
Jackets. That jacket's
Those are
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So like I said, I don't know when that's shipping out or anything.
It's cheap though.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I didn't bring up.
Why?
Shit. The Classic Vibe lineup.
The one that you wanted?
I guess so.
I thought that you wanted it.
Which one did I want?
I don't know. You want all of them.
Alright, so here's the... Oh, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed in the new Classic Vibe lineup this year.
Why?
I don't know. Just, I don't know. You get a hardtail Strat. It's like a 50 Strat, and it looks like you get either a blue color or this shell pink.
Okay.
Which is cool, but it seems like, you know, they're kind of overdoing it on the shell pink year after year. Which I like a hardtail Strat. My Strat is hardtail, but not because it was designed that way. The previous owner didn't do like the block thing that a lot of people do, where you can put like a block in there and stop it from being a regular tremolo bridge. It doesn't fit a whammy bar. It just doesn't fit. I've tried a few different size whammy bars, and I thought they were like universally one size. Whatever 90s bridge this was, it just does not fit a whammy bar. So I cranked down the springs, and it just I have it as a hardtail. So yeah, you get the Strat. There's a 70 Strat as well, I guess. Something comes in a white with black pickguard. You have the HSS layout on that thing, the fat headstock that you would get in the 70s. That also comes in like a brownish color, or mocha, whatever they're calling it. There are two new Telecasters in the lineup. There is the Telecaster with a Bigsby and a humbucker in the neck position. It looks like there's binding as well. So this one is one that I'd be more likely to be interested in. I didn't tell you the prices on those either. So the hardtail Strats are $449 each.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, I guess they're all hardtail. Okay, so the 50s are $449. The 70s are also $449. Okay. Now this is where you start getting a little more. Yeah, that's where you start getting a little bit more expensive. So the Bigsby Tellies, you get it in either a blue color, or what is it? Oh, Lake Placid blue, which I've never been a fan of, or Aztec gold, which I think looks really nice.
Okay.
Those are $488. So Squiers are starting to get a little bit more expensive because they used to like cap out at like $450, and these are starting at $450. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
What else do you have
so these are the ones I actually like right here. The Esquires.
Those look nice.
I don't like red guitars, but I like this red. It's not a candy apple red, it's apple red. So it doesn't have the sparkle or the shine to it. It's just more of like a flat red.
I kind of like that design though. It's like really
it looks super clean, like the Esquire without the neck pickup. It just looks really clean.
Yeah.
I don't know what neck woods are used. I mean, fretboard woods. They don't look like they're rosewood. They're probably Indian laurel.
But how much is it though?
So you get that one at either apple red or Shorewood gold or green, and I like the color of both of those.
$449.
$449. So you're back, lowering the price a little bit. And then we get a little bit different right here. So there is a Jazzmaster, but it looks like they only have, and I could be wrong, I think it's only available in one color. I don't think there's any improvements between the previous year's Classic Vibe 60s Jazzmaster. I think it's just a new colorway. I think it's the same as the ones that they've been making. So now I think that's like a fourth color that you can get it in with the, what is this? Tahitian coral with like a perloid, not a perloid, what is that? Tortoiseshell, sorry, pickguard, which I don't like that color. I don't like the coral with the tortoiseshell. But, you know, somebody will. Yeah. And then the Duosonic, you get that in two colors. Either Lake Placid Blue or Desert Sand. The Desert Sand does come with like the gold anodized pickguard.
Those are cheap though.
So yeah, the Jazzmaster is $475, but the Duosonics are $431.
That's not that bad.
Now I remember having a Squier. No, I had a Fender Duosonic, and it was okay. I probably wouldn't go for this one. If they did a Cyclone instead, I would definitely go for that. Because the Cyclone has like the Strat tremolo bridge on it. This one is just hardtail. Also, the Cyclone usually has two single coils. I think my Cyclone was actually, it was a vintage modified Cyclone, and it had this kind of same pickup layout, same body shape and everything. So those are pretty affordable.
Okay.
And now we get into the 70s active jazz bass. Looks like, are they all 5 strings? No, okay, there are 2 4-string models and a 2. Sorry. That's hard to see in this image right here. It looks like there's 2 colorways for the 4-string, 2 colorways for the 5-string. They're all 70s jazz basses. Let's see right here.
Those are kind of pricey.
Yeah, so you get the 4-string models are available in Mocha or Ocean Turquoise. The 5 strings are in Sienna Sunburst or Ocean Turquoise. I really don't like the way those look. Now this one's kind of cool. The 60s jazz bass, Tahitian coral. Wait, it says there's a Tahitian coral as well for the 60s jazz bass. That one's not pictured here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's down here.
It's down there, yeah.
So again, it's that Tahitian coral with the turquoise, or tortoiseshell pickguard. I'm not a fan. But this one right here, the Tele bass, you can get in Mocha or Vintage White. I think both of those colors look really good. Even though the Vintage White is more like an off yellow kind of color. They come with a wide range humbucker in the neck position. You get the Tele style head. I think that one looks really cool in the Mocha color.
That's $479.
$479 for all 3 of those. So the 60s jazz bass and the Tele in either color. And I think that's the whole lineup. So I'm really not enthusiastic about this like in previous years.
So would you say it was more like the change of colors that they have?
Kind of. I mean, like I said, there's a couple of new ones that they weren't doing before. They're trying to get a little bit more creative with like the 5-string basses and stuff. But I really like the Mocha Tele bass, which is how much? $479. Or I guess I would say the Esquire is the big winner for me here.
That one looks nice though.
I really did not end up bonding with the Player 2 Telecaster that I had and got rid of it, and we covered that on the show. But something about like the Esquire, just like it seems more of like my style. I don't know. I mean, definitely the Tele with the Bigsby is definitely more my style, but I already have 2 guitars with like the Bigsby style bridges and humbuckers. Like I wouldn't need another one. So I would say that for me, the 2 winners are the Esquire and that bass.
Okay.
So yeah, that was that one. Supra has a new amp.
Okay.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of people having mixed opinions on this one. It's the Airwave. So
is that why?
Is it white?
What's the color of the?
I think I don't know. It's kind of a vintage style look to it. So it's black cabinet with a white striping around it.
I'm not a fan of that.
What I don't like is that the grill cloth is white because that will get dirty.
That's
over time.
gonna get kidding. I'm not a fan.
So what's cool about this amp is that it is a fully tube amplifier, but it has 2 notes technology for cab simulation, for direct outs and stuff. So your controls on the front here, you have your volume. There's a boost and a drive, which I believe there's also a foot switch to control those. Treble, mid, bass, reverb, reverb speed, tremolo depth, and reverb amount, tremolo speed and depth, master volume, and that's where you get into your digital stuff over here on the right side. So you have your pre and post cab simulation. There's group A and B options. I'm not sure exactly what those do. Looks like you can store up to 6 presets on this thing. So a lot of companies like Rev is doing this. Other companies are starting to integrate like the 2 notes technology to be able to, use a real tube amp, but then also capture it without miking, and then get more versatility out of the amp without using a bunch of different cabinets and stuff.
Here's my big complaint.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the style and whatever, but if you're paying $1,500 for an amp, that's gonna get disgusting though. Unless you keep that in a place where there's
cover
no
over
dust or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. Everything is wire cleaned. That's just gonna get disgusting over time.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's too expensive for that. If it was black, sure, but
yeah, or even like silver.
Yeah.
Gold.
Not a big fan of that design.
On the back end, you have a knob for the cabinet sim level. You have stereo cabinet XLR outputs. There's a ground lift. There is USB-C connectivity. I'm assuming that's for importing different cab sims to this thing. Headphone output. There is a foot switch for your reverb and tremolo. There's a foot switch output for input for your boost and drive foot switch. There's a speaker mute, so if you are just recording with this thing or you're running out to, like a PA system or something, you can run your cabs direct from the XLR. You can mute the internal speaker. And, I get the point. You're trying to create a product that is good for jamming, writing, recording, playing live, that it can do all of it.
I understand that.
So, it's cool. I think the $1,500 price tag on that thing is just out of necessity that it has to be that for what they put into it. But yeah, I agree. I don't like the color of that cloth. That's my only real complaint about it, I guess, is...
And just, and if you're going to take it to a recording session or you're going to take it somewhere, that shit's going to get dirty.
How much does this weigh?
I'm sorry. It can sound amazing. I don't know. Make it gray, make it black. Yeah. That should be fine.
And, get into some specifics here. It's 25 watts. Like I said, it has the 2 notes technology. It's comprised of 2 ECC 83S tubes and 2 6VC power tubes. Or 6V6, power tubes. It is a Celestion BD12 12-inch speaker. What I did want to see is... Okay, so with the USB-C connection, and Bluetooth connectivity, you can unlock 128 customizable presets and additional sound shaping tools, such as virtual mic positioning, EQ, room reverb, and more.
Nice.
It's lightweight. That's what I was looking for. Is what is the weight on this thing? Because if you are taking this to recording sessions, it can't be heavy. Not in 2025. I don't see anything about weight. You see any weight?
No. What is poplar?
Poplar, it's like a cheap wood. It's like better than plywood.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that it's heavier, no.
Yeah.
Specs.
Nope, it just takes me right back to where we
were.
So I don't see anything about the weight, but that was something I was curious about.
We don't know.
We don't know.
Okay.
Now, this is the release, I think, of the week I'm most excited about. They're sold out already. Holy shit, these just came out.
What is that?
Fender dropped the Khruangbin, and I know I'm probably saying that wrong. I've always said it wrong. The Laura Lee Jazz Bass and the Mark Spear Stratocaster.
What is Laura Lee?
You know Laura Lee. You know this band.
This is gonna be the same as the Beach Boys. Oh my god.
You know this band. I just showed you these guitars the other day.
Okay. Hold
on.
I'm gonna say I know them. I'm gonna say I know them before you go song by song.
No. I'm not gonna go song by song. But they're a primarily instrumental group. We've seen this Tiny Desk concert like a dozen times. They wear the wigs.
Oh, the dudes. Is that a dude and a woman?
Yes.
Yeah. I had the same wig. I don't remember the Tiny Desk.
Now they have signature guitars. Oh. They're modeled after ones that they've already used. The Fender is based off of. She has been using. I've noticed in videos. She has been using a Fender jazz bass for the last couple years, but originally she was using like a generic SX brand bass, like $100 bass that Mark had upgraded for her. So this jazz bass is based off the Fender jazz bass she's been using for the last couple years, but it's originally based on the generic SX bass. So upgraded pickups. She always puts foam underneath the cover of the bridge.
Why?
So it gives her like a really cool, like dead sound to the strings. So there's pickup covers for both. One on the bridge, one in the middle. She has the thumb rest on there. There's dual concentric pots on this thing, so I don't know if I could find a better image there that you could see. Can you see that where there's a ring down here?
I see it.
Yeah. So independent volume and tone controls for each of the two pickups, which is really cool. I like that. It's made in Mexico. I don't really care even what woods or anything this thing's made out of. $1,500. So it's a signature model made in Mexico. Sounds about right. It's rosewood fingerboard, 9.5 inch radius, custom jumbo frets. DiMarzio Ultra Jazz pickups, which are noiseless, which is really important, I think, for her sound because she plugs into a Fender, I want to say like Super Reverb amp or something. Or something like the Super 6 or something. I don't remember what she plugs into. She plugs into an old school 70s tube amp.
Okay.
So that's cool. So that one and the Mark Spear, they dropped them both the same day. This is based off of his 70s Strat that he modified the crap out of, and his unique sound is that he uses flat wound strings. And so on the original guitar that this is based on, he upgraded to I don't know what these like rail pickups. In the bridge, in the neck, kept the original 70s in the middle, so he gets this cool out of phase sound when he's going in positions 2 and positions 4. But he used, I think these are Graphtec. I want to say Graphtec. Yeah, Graphtec saddles and string trees. Because he uses flat wound, so it improves the tuning stability. DiMarzio ProTrack neck and bridge pickups. Vintage Voice 70 single coil for the middle. 7.25 inch radius maple fingerboard with jumbo frets, custom C-shaped maple neck. So it comes stock exactly how he would use it. So it does have the flat wound strings, which is pretty uncommon for anybody that's not just playing straight up jazz music. So same price, $1,500. I think it looks really cool. It's a little bit different in the fact that this one has all white. Everything on the pickguard. So pickups, the knobs, they're like this really plain white. They're not like an off-white or anything. So I think those are both really cool. Those are the ones I'm most excited about from this week. And then we just have one more.
Okay.
All right, so the last release of the week, I don't know. I watched part of their live stream. Line 6 announced after a decade of the Helix products, they put out the Helix Stadium. This is the first new release of one of their big units they've done in a long time. Because, in the last few years, they put out the HX Stomp, they put out the HX1, which is smaller units. But this one is the big boys here. So they got the Stadium and the Stadium XL. Let me look at the pricing here.
I just don't understand what that is.
These are supposed to be their most advanced stuff they've put out yet, as far as modelers, processors, multi-effects units.
That has to be expensive.
I don't know. I thought I had the page with the pricing.
Well, now we need to find out.
Yeah.
But I can tell you right now, I think that's going to be expensive.
Yeah. So they said these were going to be, well, I mean, as always, but they want this to be somebody's like last piece of gear that they're going to need for everything. So from what I've seen, if I understand correctly from what I've seen in other videos as well, this thing's going to be able to do amp captures, even if it doesn't do it right away. So you can do amp captures. It's got their most advanced modeling technology that they have so far, where you can blend in between an amp capture and you can tweak it to be something completely non-existent in the real world, like outside of a capture. Like you can create your own unique tone, but then you can blend the two into this one completely custom tone between yours and a capture. So I don't know. I don't understand the full technology, but then so the basic model has, what is this, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 foot switches. The advanced version has the addition of the expression pedal, big screens on these things. The bigger version, the XL, has little screens above each foot switch to tell you what they are set to. I don't know enough about this stuff, but they said you can like import backing tracks to this thing and have your whole song programmed to where like wherever you're at along with the backing track, you can have different effects that are like preset to like, you know, it knows to play certain things at certain time with your song. Like you can completely program it to like, you won't even have to, if I am understanding this correctly, where you won't even have to click foot switches if you don't want it to. It just knows, you know, I'm 35 seconds into the song, it's starting to build up. This is when this insane delay comes on or something, and it just knows it'll play for that duration of time, and then it'll stop. And they want this thing to be your last piece of gear. I think you could probably even like use this to like run your whole band through this and record whole albums using this as your interface. That I thought I had found that, but I don't see it. So it's the Helix. I thought I had seen. Where is this? Okay.
Well, it just says the Helix floor is $12.99.
$21.99.
$21.99?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Oh my God! It just keeps taking us back to the same page.
How much is this thing?
I thought I saw something that was like $18.99 for the state. Okay. According to Fractal Audio Systems forum 3 days ago, starting at $17.99 for the regular, and then the stadium floor, which is the big XL, is $21.99.
Okay.
If this is correct pricing.
Okay.
Where
are they getting these numbers?
I don't. It was on the release date. I don't know. They did a whole live stream that was like 2 hours long, and I jumped in and out of it, but I didn't really pay much attention. It looks like 1,800. Everywhere I'm seeing it saying $17.99 for the stadium, and then for the stadium floor XL, $21.99. So insane. It's an insanely priced thing, and I really don't think anybody should spend their money on this if they're not like a gigging touring musician. If you're a guy playing at home, why would you spend your money on this?
So you think it's not a good idea?
I think it's a great idea. I think it's great for actual professional musicians.
That makes sense.
And of course, people that play at home and stuff and don't play out, they're gonna still buy this thing, but because they want the next big thing, and it's probably gonna give solutions to problems they were having with previous models. And I think they took every piece of feedback they got from users, and were like, let's put it all in this thing.
Listen, if you're a lawyer, if you went into business administration in college, if you're a doctor, most likely you're gonna end up with this one.
Yeah,
I can tell you that 100%.
I mean, if you play in a worship band, this is probably for you. If you play in a metal band, this is probably for you. Play the kind of music we do around here, then probably not for you. You're probably better off with like a small pedal board with a couple pedals.
But you're gonna be fine as long as you can afford it.
Yeah,
that's all we can say.
Yeah. So I don't know. Really expensive release. A lot of these things were really expensive this week. I mean, that reverb units.
Yeah.
So
expensive reliefs. Well, no, there were a couple
no, I mean
guitars.
the 1981 pedals,
Yeah.
$150.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
The guitars were not that bad.
The Squiers are those are usually even though prices have gone up this year, they're still affordable, and it looks like they are putting that cost back into like some of the quality looks a little bit better every year. Like every time they put out a new lineup of this classic vibe stuff, it does seem to get better.
It does.
Versus like when I was younger, like in a teenage, probably like high school, when I first stumbled across classic vibe, they were not very good. And I think that was shortly after they transitioned from China to Indonesia, and they hadn't figured it out yet. Now they've got it down to a science where they know what they're doing. So I don't know. Other than that, I think that's all of our stuff for this week.
Yeah. And if you're a dad, happy Father's Day, by the way.
Happy Father's Day.
Yeah. I wish your partner buys you some music equipment this weekend.
That'd be nice.
Oh,
just saying.
That was not a wish for you though. That's for the other people.
I didn't get any music equipment this weekend.
On my defense, I was trying to find you something. I told you I went to the Fender website because they have a list. By the way, all the women that watch the podcast on the Fender website, there's a list of gift ideas that you can buy.
Yeah,
but I just didn't see anything that you will want on that list.
I mean, it's funny because if you go to their Father's Day holiday guide or whatever it's called, it has like basic stuff like your t-shirts, straps, harmonicas. If you want to get a flask that says Fender, there was like some posters and stuff or something, bookmarks, and then you get to the last page and it's like, how about the Jack White Panoverb amp? How about the Mike Campbell signature guitar that's $4,000? Like, who's buying that for Father's Day?
I didn't see anything that you would like.
Yeah, I mean, I would have liked that Mike Campbell guitar for sure.
On my price range, I meant. Yeah. Well, anyway.
Anyway, I guess that's it. Happy Father's Day. We'll see you next week. Bye.